Mercedes E-Class estate has always been a very classy way to carry rather a lot. These days, though, it's cleverer and more efficient than ever. A focus on downsized engines will be a big draw. There's a frugal-based diesel and a plug-in hybrid, while fire-breathing Mercedes-AMG models add some excitement. Overall, the whole range just feels slicker and more desirable than ever. It's all very impressive, particularly as you can carry up to 1,820 litres.
It used to be that if you wanted a large, plush, practical estate, you bought a big Volvo. For some years now, though, that role has been only fully filled by the Mercedes E-Class estate. Rivals trade space for a bit of style, but this car continues to prioritise practicality, with 640 litres of room on offer even before you start folding the seats. This 10th generation E-Class estate, this W213 series design, is actually the 5th generation version to be badged E-Class, does of course enjoy all the advantages developed for its saloon counterpart, a car offering efficient engines, astonishing technology and luxurious comfort. This current design was updated in mid-2020 and it gained a smarter look and quite a bit of extra technology too to keep it current in the face of the various fresh or updated rivals introduced since the original launch. There are also cutting-edge driver assistance features which allow owners to take a step closer to fully autonomous driving. On the move, you quickly find that Mercedes has achieved an excellent balance between comfort, refinement and agility with this E-Class estate. It's as happy easing its way through town as it is covering great highway distances, but then you'd expect that. More surprising is how at home it feels on twistier roads, but we're going to get to that. Of more interest to likely owners though will be this car's relaxed highway demeanour. It's embellished in the case of this updated model by the optional active distance assist Distronic system that we're trying here. When it's activated, this allows the car to pretty much drive itself, working with the adaptive cruise control system and the active steering system to keep this E-Class rolling in its chosen lane at any chosen speed up to 130 miles an hour. Electrification is the theme with this revised W213 series E-Class model, with plug-in hybrid technology now available right across the range on the diesel engines as well as on the petrol ones. Plus, as before, there is a choice of rear-driven or 4MATIC all-wheel drive drivetrain options. All models come with 9G-tronic 9-speed automatic transmission. As for engines, well, customers in this class no longer tend to automatically opt for diesels these days, but Mercedes still offers 3 strong black pump fueled units. 2 of them use the same 1950cc 2-litre 4-cylinder power plant, putting out 194 horsepower, the E220D and the E300DE EQ Power plug-in hybrid, which has a 34-mile battery-driven range. There is also a 6-cylinder 3-litre diesel in the E400D 4MATIC, which offers 330 horsepower. As for petrol power, well again, volume sales are taken care of by a single 2-litre 4-cylinder unit, which features in 197 horsepower form on the base E200 variant, an engine which now features an improved 48-volt mild hybrid system integrated into the casing of the 9-speed automatic gearbox. This lightly electrified setup can produce up to 20 brake horsepower and 180 newton meters of extra torque to reduce the load on the petrol engine, which has a 197 horsepower output. Here we're trying the Mercedes-AMG E53 4MATIC Plus version of the E-Class estate, which gets a potent 3-litre bi-turbo mild hybrid inline 6-cylinder petrol engine, putting out 435 horsepower. This delivers a huge rush of pulling power from about 1800 RPM onwards, at which point 520 newton meters of torque is developed from the potent combination of Borg-Warner electrically driven supercharger and twin-scroll turbocharger. Rest to 62 takes just 4.5 seconds, and top speed has to be artificially limited at 155 miles an hour. If that's really not fast enough, there's the E63S 4MATIC Plus model with its 612 horsepower 4-litre V8. Even on mainstream E-Class estate models, handling should be sharper than you might expect it to be, although there isn't quite the balance that you'll get with the rival BMW 5 Series Touring, Jaguar XF Sport Brake or Audi A6 Avant models. With this Mercedes though, there's the advantage that all models get standard rear air suspension and level control, great not only for porous surfaces but also for the kind of heavier loads that would trouble this car's direct premium rivals. Selective damping is standard too, and that's controlled via the various provided dynamic select driving modes, Comfort, Sport and Sport Plus. An additional individual option is provided too, and that allows drivers to configure the vehicle to suit their own preferences. As facelift restyles go, the one applied to this updated W213 Series E-Class estate is quite significant. The front end features softer, reshaped headlamps with full LED beams, and the grille's been revised too, as has the front bumper. In profile, you get a perspective for the fact that this is the most sizable estate in the segment. It measures just shy of 5 metres. Wheels vary in size between 17 inches right up to the big 20-inch rims we have here, depending on the variant you've chosen. Move to the rear and it's immediately obvious that unlike rivals from Audi, BMW and Jaguar, Mercedes hasn't compromised carriage capacity by building in a less squarical, swept-back rear roof section. Typical E-Class estate customers would want it no other way. Inside, the main change with this revised W213 Series model, apart from this revised steering wheel, is the adoption of the brand's so-called widescreen cockpit dash design, which sees two 12.3-inch displays, one for the instrument cluster and one for the central MBUX infotainment screen, blended beneath the shared glass cover. You can control these displays using touchpads on the steering wheel spokes, and the central MBUX monitor that can be accessed either using the touchscreen via this touchpad down by the center console or by using the voice control system Hey Mercedes.
How can I help?
As always with an E-Class, everything does of course all feel suitably premium, with leather upholstery and heated front seats being standard fit on all variants. There's also a lovely 64 colour ambient lighting system with LED strips along the bottom of the fascia, on the door cards and also along the side of the centre console, which gives the cabin a very special feel after dark. Let's take a look in the rear. Where passenger space is generous. If the front passengers have their seats at their lowest setting, you might find room for your feet slightly limited, but otherwise these rear footwells are big and broad. The upholstery is supportively contoured too. It holds you in a little more firmly than is usual, although that does mean a little less comfort for anyone who has to sit in the middle here, with legs splayed around this rather prominent central transmission tunnel. Let's move around to the boot, which gets automatic operation for the tailgate, and that rises to reveal a 640 litre space, easily the largest in the segment. It's a square, usefully shaped area too, with 1100 millimetres of width between the wheel arches, which is why the E-Class estate is just about the only car you could choose which can accommodate a Euro pallet, although you might think twice about inflicting a thing like that onto the immaculate carpets back here. There's no longer the option of having a third row seat bench fitted in the back though. This revised model's second row rear bench gains additional cargo-related functionality, which makes it possible to position the backrest at an approximately 10-degree steeper angle. Now this creates an additional 30 litres of cargo volume, while continuing to enable full use to be made of the 5 seats. In addition, a 40-20-40 split for the rear backrest means that long items like skis can be slid in between two rear-seated passengers. To release the backrests, there are electric switches located in the load compartment to the right and to the left. Use these and up to 1,820 litres of fresh air can be freed up. No segment rival can get anywhere close to that figure. expect to allow a premium of £2,000 over the saloon model, which at the time of this test in summer 2021 meant pricing starting from just under £42,000 for E-Class estate ownership. Most models will be sold in the £45,000 to £55,000 bracket. Overall, that's pretty competitive against rivals like the Audi A6 Avant and the BMW 5 Series Touring. You will obviously pay quite a lot more for a sporting Mercedes-AMG variant like the one we have here today. This E53 4MATIC Plus 6-cylinder model, that was priced from around £67,500 at the time of this test, with the top V8 powered E63 4MATIC Plus up at around £100,000. Trim-wise, things kick off with either sport trim for the base E200 or E220D petrol or diesel models, or AMG line edition if you want the E300DE EQ Power plug-in hybrid model. From there, your trim choices rise through AMG line to AMG line Premium and AMG line Night Edition Premium Plus. You'll need the top two spec options if you want the 6-cylinder E400D 4MATIC model. This E53 derivative comes in either Premium or, as in this case, in Night Edition Premium Plus forms. The top E63, that comes only as a Night Edition Premium Plus model. Across the range, the standard spec is as complete as you'd have a right to expect for the prices that are being asked here. All models feature LED headlamps and also LED tail lights, roof rails, a powered Easy Pack tailgate, power folding mirrors, auto headlamps and wipers, and also alloy wheels of at least 17 inches in size. Plus, all variants also get standard rear air suspension and level control, plus selective damping that you can control via the Dynamic Select driving mode system. Inside, the key change with this revised version of the W213 Series E-Class is the standardisation of the brand's widescreen cockpit with its twin 12.3-inch screens, one for the instrument binnacle and one for the MBUX central dash monitor. Other standard features include Parktronic parking sensors with a reversing camera and also an active parking assist auto parking system. There's also leather upholstery and the seats are heated up front. A lovely 64 colour selectable LED interior lighting system. There's also 2-zone automatic climate control. There's a wireless charging pad and a 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel with dual touchpads. The AMG line models come with AMG exterior styling, including unique bumpers and side skirts, larger 18-inch alloy wheels, multi-beam LED intelligent headlights, a 3-spoke AMG steering wheel, stainless steel pedals, 3-zone thermotronic climate control, and a stitched Artico leather dashboard covering. Further up the range, there are also niceties like a panoramic glass roof. We have one of those here, a 360-degree camera system, and an energising comfort package, which allows you to set interior themes. Enough with that, let's switch to safety, which down the years has always been a primary consideration for Mercedes with this car. All the key features you'd expect are present and correct. There's active braking assist, autonomous braking, blind spot assist, that will alert you if you're just about to pull out when there's a vehicle in your blind spot. There's crosswind assist, that helps to stabilise the car in sudden side gusts of wind. And steer control steering assist, that helps you to keep the wheel straight at cruising speeds. Attention assist will monitor your driving reactions for drowsiness, and the pre-safe program will tighten the seat belts, it'll close the windows and even adjust the seats in a fraction of a second if the stability system deems an accident to be inevitable. There is also an active bonnet which protects pedestrians and the usual twin front, side and curtain airbags, plus there's a knee bag for the driver. As you expect, tyre pressure monitoring and all the usual electronic aids for traction, braking and stability control are included too. If you want to go further, you'll be given the chance to spend around £1,700 more to get the brand's driving assistance package, which we have here and which includes a package of key extra camera safety elements, amongst which are features which also give this car limited autonomous driving capability. Let's talk you through all that. The driving assistance package starts with active blind spot assist, which actively steers you back to safety if you're just about to pull out in front of another vehicle. There's braking stuff too, of course. The active braking assist with cross-traffic function feature can help to avoid accidents with vehicles ahead, with crossing traffic, and also with pedestrians and or mitigate their consequences. And there's active emergency stop assist, which initiates immediate emergency braking if evasion is impossible. There is also an evasive steering assist, which can support you in making evasive manoeuvres if a pedestrian or cyclist suddenly appears in your path, plus a clever route-based speed adjustment feature. Now this works with GPS data to automatically adapt your speed before curves, roundabouts and junctions. There is also Pre-Safe Plus, which takes preventative measures when a rear-end collision threatens, including warning following traffic and locking the brakes on standstill. And you get Pre-Safe Impulse Side, which better prepares the cabin for a heavy side impact. It uses inflatable bolsters inside the seats, so it puts more space between those inside the car and whatever might be about to smash into it. As we mentioned, the driving assistance package also includes limited autonomous driving capability to suit the mood of the moment. That comes courtesy of the pack's active distance assist Distronic system, which is designed to operate on a dual carriageway and which works with the Mercedes active steering assist setup, which keeps you in the centre of your designated lane and will, if needed, apply some subtle steering correction to ease you back to where you ought to be. The Distronic feature is basically a super advanced adaptive cruise control which automatically regulates your distance to the car in front and can, if necessary, remotely slow the car with up to 50% of stopping power. It also works the active speed limit assist feature, which automatically sets the cruise control to speed limit signs as you pass them. It's all very reassuring. For a car that performs as broad a remit as the E-Class estate, encompassing everything from German domestic market taxi fleets to family transport to company cars and all points in between, there's a pressing requirement for the car to turn in some great efficiency measures. To that end, Mercedes has worked hard to improve running costs this time around, and they are aided by the increased emphasis now on electrification across the range. Let's look at the WLTP rated figures. The E200 petrol with its latest EQ Power mild hybrid tech manages up to 37.2 miles per gallon on the combined cycle and 174 grams per kilometre of CO2. And the diesels? Well, the efficient 2-litre bi-turbo diesel engine in the Volume E220D manages up to 50.4 mpg on the combined cycle and up to 148 grams per kilometre of CO2. If you go for the 6-cylinder E400D 4MATIC diesel, the estate version of that manages up to 40.9 mpg and up to 181 grams per kilometre. Not bad for a 4-wheel-drive, high-performance diesel full executive model. The E300DE EQ Power plug-in hybrid version is, of course, in a different league when it comes to efficiency. Officially, it manages up to 217.3 mpg on the combined cycle and 35 grams per kilometre of CO2 if you take into account its all-electric driving range of up to 33 miles. You will need deep pockets to run the petrol Mercedes-AMG models, of course. This E53 manages up to 29.4 mpg and up to 216 grams per kilometre of CO2. For the V8 E63, the figures are up to 22.8 mpg and up to 282 grams per kilometre. And otherwise, well, this model series is designed for the long haul. There's plenty of proof of that. Greek taxi driver Grigorios Sachanidis clocked up 2.9 million miles in his 1976 240D. And although build quality did take a bit of a dip with the W210 series range that we had between 95 and 2003, it's now better than ever with this current W213 series version. This car will easily outlast you, and that's one reason why the all-important residual values have traditionally been strong with diesels and lower order petrol engines. Unless you do something silly like specify an overly bright colour scheme, you can expect to get over 60% of your initial purchase price back after 3 years. Insurance groups start at 33E for the petrol E200. For the E220D diesel, it's Group 35E or 44E for the E400D. For the E300DE, it's Group 46E. For this E53, it's Group 44E. And for the E63, it's Group 50E. Before this W213 series E-Class estate model appeared, the Mercedes of executive station wagons was perceived as a practical but slightly over-sensible choice in this sector. These days, though, it's a much smarter choice in more ways than one. Today it feels like a car which is pricey but which offers a compelling value proposition. It drives with genuine polish and yet it's capable of stepping from cruiser to carouser without breaking a sweat. Operating the car is relatively easy and you rarely feel as if this Mercedes is imposing its will on you, unlike certain rivals we could mention. The abiding impression is that this is a very carefully considered vehicle, developed by a company steeped in a proud engineering tradition. If you want to carry properly heavy loads in a car of this kind, yet you want to do it with more than a modicum of style, then this is one to place right up there with its premium rivals. It's better by design.